the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
SEC schedule review series. I thought this would be a fun idea, Matt Green, to do each week here. With each different SEC team, we'll look at the 2023 results and then figure out, did they win enough games based on what we saw on the schedule? Not enough based on how their schedule unfolded, or just the right amount. And I thought LSU would be a fun one to start off here, Matt Green. So when you look at the team that had the Heisman winning quarterback this year, when you look at how the 2023 schedule was for them, did LSU win enough, win just the right exact amount, or did they lose too many games based on that schedule?
Just right. No. LSU definitely underachieved this past year. I think there's no doubt about it. Like, having this defense be as bad as it was is just unacceptable. Like, we know how LSU recruits. Like, if this team was an average defense, like they potentially could have won the national championship. Like losing to, the shootout they did to Ole Miss. Like, you had the best quarterback in college football. Like, Jayden Daniels was doing like Lamar Jackson type things as a better passer. Like, nobody expected that coming into this season. And this team was a contender coming into the season with a lot of people kind of not sold on how good Jayden Daniels was. So the fact that he's the Heisman Trophy winner and this team loses 3 games, and you lost to, and they were another one of the teams that I felt like when we were making our preseason predictions about Alabama, it felt like LSU was one of those teams that the SEC was open for, and Alabama just found ways to beat everyone in the SEC West last year. So I definitely have to say, like, Florida State, there's no shade in losing to Florida State like they did. Like, I think Florida State was at full strength, was one of the best teams in college football, but to lose to Ole Miss in that shootout, giving up 50 something points and losing to Alabama, like, having Jalen Milroe just kind of run all over you, not even making him pass on you. Like, I think LSU definitely underachieved this past year.
I think it's one of those where you never know how many Heisman type seasons you're going to get from quarterbacks. Like Garrett Nussmeier, he might be better than Jayden Daniels. It's possible. Like, Jayden Daniels was really good, but there were some limitations there still. Garrett Nussmeier, maybe he's better and LSU's better. You lose your offensive coordinator. This is why, like, college football is just like, you never know when your moment's gone. I mean, Tennessee, what if game where if they don't drop that to South Carolina, and who knows what happens in the playoffs, because you find out the next year it's not that easy to just be the best offense in college football year over year, and that kind of magic that you need to get back to the big dance. And I do wonder for LSU side of things. Look, man, you had a special season from Jayden Daniels and a lot of talent, and there was that whole weird stuff with Harold Perkins and how he was being used at the beginning of the year, and you have to clean up your whole defensive staff, and you still have Harold Perkins and a lot of talent there, but we'll see if Brian Kelly shook up his staff in the right way. But now you got co-OCs, because your OC just went back to Notre Dame on a big deal. So we don't know what these guys are going to be like. What if there is a dip in terms of offensive play calling and production? And I don't know. It's tough, man. The SEC is not getting any easier. So you do wonder with LSU in terms of, look, man, like, I mean, through 2 years, I think if you're an LSU football fan, you're happy with, you're like, I guess you're satisfied to an extent, right? With Brian Kelly. Like, Brian Kelly has been an abject positive at LSU, but you're still like, all right, well, we beat Alabama the first time. Doesn't go well the second time. We're recruiting at a great rate still. 20-7 is where Brian Kelly currently sits at LSU. But I mean, you still feel pretty good, right? I mean, he's shown that he's aggressive in shaking up the staff when he needs to. He's shown that he's going to adapt to the conference and what it needs to be to win. 10 games first 2 years is just good, no matter how you sugarcoat it. I mean, I think he's got this thing on a solid foundation. But I mean, look, man, you can't lose. You're one of these years early on, you're going to have the 1-loss, 2-loss season, because you have that kind of talent, and that's the expectations at LSU, is that you're in the national title game, and they haven't been in it the first 2 years. They've been just like good team, but they've never felt the last 2 years like they were really going to make a national title run.
No, not at all. And you don't have to be, you know, dissatisfied with Brian Kelly to say that they underperformed this past season. Like, it's when, you know, those underperforming seasons start to stack up and they outweigh the good seasons. But like, you look at like a guy like an RG3 or like a Lamar Jackson, like 10-3 type Heisman, or maybe Lamar Jackson was like 9-4 type Heisman. It's like, for Baylor, like 10-3 was like their best season in like 30 years. You know, it's like, so LSU going 10-3 with a Heisman winning quarterback, that just doesn't hit the same. It's more like the Tim Tebow, the 9-4, even though their quarterback was putting up stupid stats, like the season was not a success. So yeah, you just don't expect that when you're having a quarterback putting up such huge numbers. But yeah, I mean, I still think, you know, if I'm taking if any coach in college football, if I can have any coach in college football, I'm not taking more than like 2 or 3 guys ahead of Brian Kelly. He's still right up there with the best.
I agree, Matt Cream. Final thing we'll do here on tonight's show, Big Ten surprise CFP teams here. I thought one that would be the most interesting and to throw at you tonight, Penn State. You can't quit them. Let's find out if Matt Green is going to quit the Penn State Nittany Lions when you think college football playoff 2024 teams, Matt Green. Are you ready to write them off in the new era of the Big Ten with USC and UCLA entering the fold, or do you think they have a real shot at making it with year 2 of Drew Aller under center?
This is a layered answer here because, yes, I am jumping off the Penn State bandwagon. I felt like last year was the stars aligning for them.
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas podcast. Hell yeah.